Action. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andrea Frank. I work in the Community Ed Department at West Bloomfield School District. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to join us to hear about Math Pentathlon and all the things that we have to, all the fun things we have to offer. Coming up, we are super excited because last year we were all virtual, which was a very big deal since a lot of schools decided to just go away with Math Pentathlon altogether. We were able to go online, and we actually noticed that it was easier to teach a few of the things virtually. So this year will be a blended model, Zoom and in person. Again, this is for kindergartner through 7th grade. They have to be a student within the district. We have our 3 amazing coaches, as well as some teaching staff that will be helping us throughout the year. The year consists of November through about May, the tournament's in May, so we can talk a little bit more about that, and Coach Renee can give you some specifics. All the registration is online right now, and they'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. So now I'd like to turn it over to Lucy Barber, our volunteer extraordinaire.
Thank you, Andrea. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm going to share my screen with you. We've got a presentation. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Where's the button? It's hiding. Okay. So I'm just going to go through my slides, and please hold your questions till the very end. However, the chat will be going. So if you have a question you would like to put in the chat, Coach Renee and Coach Michelle, who you'll meet in just a second, they'll be able to answer your questions. They will also be inputting links that I will go through on my presentation, so then you can just copy and paste it and then go directly to whatever link I have if you want to look at it. Anyway, so welcome, Parent Informational Meeting for Mathematics Pentathlon, which is our math club in the West Bloomfield School District. So here's a table of contents of what we're going to go through tonight. 5 different sections. What is Math Pentathlon? Why Math Pentathlon? Who's involved in Math Pentathlon? When is Math Pentathlon? And how? I had a hard time fitting the how, but hopefully it makes sense when we get there. Okay. I like jokes, so here's a joke. Not all math puns are terrible, just some. Ha ha ha. Okay. What is Math Pentathlon? Here's another joke. Math, the only place where people buy 64 watermelons and nobody wonders why. I don't know. I wonder why sometimes. Okay. Math Pentathlon is 20 games spread through 4 divisions that teach and reinforce basic math concepts and skills, stimulate creative thinking, develop problem-solving skills, develop spatial, computational, and logical reasoning, and good sportsmanship. So you'll see in each one of the little rectangles are the 5 games, and then you've got like the rule manuals and instruction booklets. So there you go. Division 1. Division 1 is, I'm going to shrink my thingy. Okay. Division 1 consists of the game Kala, Star Trek, Kings and Quads, Shape Up, and Hexagon. I'm not going to go through each one specifically tonight. There's a couple of games I will use as examples. There will be opportunities for you to get training if you would like to delve more into this. Then, yeah, we can answer more questions further on. When we did in-person parent informational meetings, we actually split up into division groups for those families that had the kids, and we actually showed you the game and talked you through them a little bit. This is a picture, screenshots of last year's Division 1, one of our practices. As you can see, there's Shape Up right there. And you can see all the little faces. It was a lot of fun, and there's Landon. Anyways, it was a lot of fun, and it was interesting to see a lot of the kiddies. They do all sorts of fun things. Okay. Division 2 consists of the games Fire, Par 55, Quattro Cinco, Some Dominoes, and Ramrod. And this is a really old set of pictures. We were so busy last year just trying to run the virtual practices, we didn't really take a lot of pictures. So that's on us. Sorry, everybody. But this is in person from a few years ago. Here's Division 3, which consists of 4th and 5th grade, and the games are Fabadiffy, Conteg 60, Queens and Guards, Stars and Bars, and Juggle. And then here is a virtual picture of one of our practices and the game Queens and Guards. Look at everybody smiling. Okay, and Division 4 is 6th and 7th grade. And those games are Fraction Pinball, Prime Gold, Remainder Island, Pentamin, and Fract Fact. Frac Fact. I always say that wrong. Anyways. And then here's a really old picture of in-person Division 4 practices from a couple years ago. Okay, why Math Pentathlon? And this, I love this section, so hopefully I didn't overload it with too much information. Because math rocks! Ha 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 ha. Okay. The mathematics pentathlon games promote diversity and mathematical thinking by integrating spatial, geometric, arithmetic, computational, and logical scientific reasoning at each division level. Now those are a lot of really big words, and I'm hopefully going to break it down a little bit for you as we go through and talk a little bit more about Math Pentathlon. And those parents who are returning parents, just bear with us. We will get to the nitty-gritty and the dates and the fees and all that here in just a little bit. Hopefully we have some new faces on here that will, this information will be beneficial for. So the benefits of Math Pentathlon: you have interactive problem solving, active problem solving, 3 types of mathematical thought, concrete and pictorial models to promote conceptual understanding, varying abilities and learning styles. It's a STEM activity, and character development. All of this information comes directly from the National Math Pentathlon Institute. Their website is mathpentath.org, and that is who developed this program and who we work closely with as we get closer to the tournament. So here's a game from Division, oh my goodness, Coach Renee, Division 3. Division 3. Okay, sorry. I better sharpen my skills before we start practice. Anyways, okay, so this is Stars and Bars. Yes, it's Coach Renee's favorite game, and it's very, very good for your brain. It will exercise your brain thoroughly. So, interactive problem solving. Interactive problem solving is a dynamic rather than passive way to problem solve using strategic thinking by exploring multiple possibilities and variables that continually change, much like life. So in this game, as you can see, it's a grid and there's cards. And just as a really quick, really very short and not very specific description of this game, your goal is to make the most points as possible. And the way you make points is by comparing one card to all of the other adjoining cards in such a way that you can get points. So, and I'm not going to delve any farther into that. So the thing is, though, you've got your hand, and you can plan how you're going to put your hand down, but you cannot control how your opponent will put their hand down. So you might plan something, and then your opponent might mess up your plan. And that is something that interactive problem solving is really good at. This is really good at helping with. Yeah, and also, depending on the kid, the game can be, they can think of a small way to make points, or try to find a large way to make points. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, this is a really good example of interactive problem solving. active problem solving, which is the ability to solve problems that are undergoing change during the process of resolution. So again, you're actively playing the game, things are moving, things are changing, and you have to change with it. 3 types of mathematical thinking. I'm just going to pull them up. Spatial and geometric. I mean, obviously geometric because they're shapes. And a lot of the games, there's pieces that we play with. There's another game called Par 55, which is a Division II game, which they have to compare the shapes, and they're thick and thin. So that's one of the things that they would have to come into. Computational, they have to add in their head. We don't use calculators in Math Pentathlon, so they have to know their addition and subtraction, multiplication and division as they get older. And actually, some of them start learning math like multiplication and division before they even know they're learning multiplication and division. I love this program just for that. Logical and scientific reasoning. So, I mean, just think about logically, we're teaching the kids how to play the game. So that's logical. And then in order to plan strategic thinking, that's kind of scientific. You need to plan, have a plan and a theory in order, or a hypothesis in order to test that and move on. Concrete and pictorial models to promote conceptual understanding. Okay, students improve their oral and written communication skills through their discussion of mathematical ideas and relationships. So I love this because to me, Math Pentathlon's not just math. Math Pentathlon is a lot of different skills thrown into one, and you get to play games on top of it. So your students, your kids will be improving with their oral and written communication skills. They're not really writing a ton of stuff down in Division 1 and 2. They are starting to write down equations in Division 3 and 4. Not only that, they have to write down the equation and verbally say it, and they have to do that correctly. And that's something, communication skills are really lacking in our world today, and that's something that is very beneficial in this program. Varying abilities and learning styles. This program attracts students of varying abilities and learning styles who may be labeled gifted or talented, average, learning disabled, or at risk. Now, the reason why it covers so many different, like a wide variety of students, is because of the wide variety of games there are and the pieces there are, and it's tactile. It's also thinking. So we'll find kids, a lot of our kids love this program, especially if they're in advanced math. We have a lot of advanced math kids that do this. We do have kids with autism or on the autism spectrum that do this. With them, I do suggest that parents come to every single practice because this is a team sport and it is a team thing. But again, my kids are not on the math, like advanced math. They don't do advanced math, but these games are fun. They're fun to play. And the kids, you trick them into doing math.
Hey, Lucy.
Yes.
So I also want to mention too that there have been students who ended up getting into advanced math by being in Math Pentathlon. So
there you go.
Positive.
There you go. Yeah. I'm not going to delve into STEM, but Math Pentathlon has been a STEM program for 40 years. So that's well before STEM got popular, before it became a in thing. And it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, in case you didn't know. Character development. Now, this list is huge. I'm not going to say them all. I'm just going to pick the couple that I really love. And this is only one of the lists. There's another list that I did not copy and paste. But one of the things I really love about this program is how they learn to advocate for themselves. We encourage the kids to learn the rules in such a way that they're able to challenge and correct if there's a mistake that's made. We also strive to teach the kids good sportsmanship, and that being where if they lose nicely, and if they win nicely. There's no rubbing it in, there's no dancing, there's no crying. Although sometimes at the tournament, kindergartners do cry a little bit if they lose. But you know what? It's okay. It's a safe place, and we're all there to help and to be a team. And I love this program for that. In Math Pentathlon, your children will build upon skills from division to division. So we don't jump into multiplication and dividing of fractions in kindergarten. They're going to build those skills up. Okay, so the following slide is going to show you examples of a game from each division where your kids will grow in the use of fractions. The first game is called Hexagon. That's a Division I game. And if you see, there's all these different geometric shapes. There's hexagons. That's why it's called hex. And if you notice on the board, I'm pointing at the board with my finger. I should use my mouse. So if you notice, see, there's a hexagon right here, but there's a hexagon shape right here. And we talk to the kids about how to create a hexagon. They can create a hexagon using 2 trapezoids. They can create a hexagon using 3 diamonds. They can create a hexagon using 6 triangles. And they can mix them up, put 1 trapezoid, 1 diamond, and 1 triangle all together to make a hexagon. That is fractions. And then we move on to Ramrod, which is a Division II game, and Coach Michelle's oldest son absolutely loves this game. He loves it. He's an 8th grader this year, so he will play anybody who wants to play it. These rods, your goal is to create a whole line of rods by capturing them over here. But the way this does fractions is if you see there's a little green piece right here and a larger green piece right here. The single piece right here is 1 centimeter. So this large green piece is 6 centimeters. Am I right, Coach Michelle? Or
We'll
Coach?
say you are.
Okay, thank you. Yep. And then the light green is 3 centimeters. So that is
It's actually
half.
6. Yeah, they're 3 and 6.
So this light green is 3, which is exactly half of the darker green, and they are in a color family. You've also got a red 2 and purple 4 or the pink 4. I can't see the colors on this. I mean, it's been a while. Anyways, so this builds upon those fractions and adding fractions because you have to add 2 of these together in order to make a whole bar to fit in here so you can capture it and put it on your side. Okay. Now moving on to Division 3, Fabadiffy. This we're going into actual fraction cards. So if you see there's these fraction cards are divided into 12 and all of the cards are fractions that can go into 12ths. Okay, so we're not getting into like 30 seconds or 144ths or anything like that. We're just going up to 12ths. Now the wonderful thing about this is we're adding and subtracting in Division 3, but they're able to take these cards and put them right up next to each other, and they can say, hey, this one is 1/2, and 1/2 is equal to 2/4, and then they can say 2/4 is equal to 6/12. And as we're going through and playing the games and teaching the games, the kids are learning these things, and they're able to compare, and they're able to touch and move around and visually see what a fraction is, which, you know, helps in life if you can visualize it in your head. Now we're going to move on to Division 4, which is the game Frac Fact. And so in this game, we not only add and subtract fractions, we also add in multiplication and division. And the kids these usually are very fast games. They're computing all of these things in their head, and we teach them tricks and ways to remember these things so that it's a different way of learning things that they're not necessarily learning the same way at school. I also love this program, the fact that as a parent, I'm not a education professional. And sometimes I do feel slightly alienated from the math program, from a lot of things. I know people say Common Core is terrible, but I think the biggest hurdle for me is the fact that I'm not able to sit down and help my kids in the same way that my parents were able to help me. So being able to be a participant in Math Pentathlon helps me bridge that gap. It helps me have an avenue to help to play with my kids, and they're learning and I'm learning at the same time, and we're both on the same page. And I just love that. Okay, we've got some student testimonials. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because we discovered before the meeting that when I share this video, it's really soft, and when Coach Renee shares this video, it's louder. So Coach Renee is going to share it. These are a few of the kids in the past. It's last year's video, but a few of the kids that have participated in Math Pentathlon, most of which I've coached myself, and Coach Renee and Coach Michelle have also coached.
I was able to participate in Math Pentathlon from kindergarten to 7th grade, so 8 years of it. I really enjoyed playing the games and learning math without really realizing that I was. I was able to learn math through playing the games. Some are luck, some are just strategy, but you really learn a bunch of different math concepts without really even realizing it through just playing the games, and it provides competition. You just play games, have fun, all the while you're learning essential skills. As I said before, I participated in it from kindergarten to 7th grade, and when you do it for 8 years, you are able to get a trophy. Even if you're not able to do it from kindergarten to 7th, I think it's 1st grade to 7th, I'm not 100% sure, but you still are able to get a trophy. It's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend it. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sela and I'm in 7th grade. I've been doing Math Pentathlon since I was in 1st grade, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. It really helped me a lot with my self-confidence, and it also helped me with my math skills. It was a really good experience, and I'm so glad that I did it.
Hi, my name is Milan Shero. I did Math Pentathlon for 8 years, from 2011 to 2018. Some things I learned from it is critical thinking, thinking ahead, problem solving, and it was a great experience, and I recommend it to other people.
Hi, my name is Elijah Burlap. I'm currently a senior at West Bloomfield High School. I was in Math Pentathlon from kindergarten to middle school. These are a few of my awards, and this is my elementary school team t-shirt. Math Pentathlon gave me my love for board games and strategic thinking. I'm the co-founder of the board game club at West Bloomfield High School. I'm also the goalkeeper and captain of the varsity soccer team. Being a goalkeeper isn't always about saving the shot. It's also about strategic thinking. Like pieces on a board game, I can tell the players where to go. I have to give credit for my success to Math Pentathlon and Mrs. Barber. Mrs. Barber is awesome. You guys are lucky. Good luck, pentathletes.
Don't you love that I kept that in, that Mrs. Barber's awesome? Yeah, I love that part. It's my favorite part. Okay, anyways. I'm going to share my screen again. Jacob, that first person that was that spoke, the first student, his mother actually shared with me when he was little. Like he said, he started in kindergarten, and he started with hexagon. And like I said, in hexagon, you're introducing fractions, even though you're not telling them that's fractions. So when they did start doing fractions, he's like, hey, that's 1/2. I already know how to do that. So basically, he figured out that he already knew fractions when they started teaching fractions in school. So I absolutely love that story that his mother shared with me. Now, this slide you're going to see a few times. If you're interested in Math Pentathlon, in the chat, please write your email address, your child's name, and the grade, and we will record it and make sure that you get information. You get on the list for all of the information that's coming up, okay? Now, meet the coaches and teacher sponsors. Woohoo! What if algebra teachers are really pirates and they're using us to find X so they can find the treasure? Think about that. Okay. Coaches, you've got Renee Kubiak, Michelle Sokoli, and Lucy Barber. This is Renee. There is her email address, and she's going to be coaching Division 3. Now, we all three of us actually help each other out, but she's going to be the primary coach for Division 3 this year. Then you've got Michelle Sokoli. There's her email address, and she will be the primary coach for Division 2. And then there's me, and I will be the primary coach for Division 1 and Division 4. Really, honestly, all three of us do Division 4, so I should have put Division 4 on everybody. But anyways, that's us. Now, we're moving on to the teacher sponsors. For Division 1, we've got Mrs. Wild and Miss Caitlin Sizemore. I know that, is Mrs. Wild on? You said you wanted to, before there was a chance, you said you wanted to say some stuff. Is there anything you would like to share right now? I can stop sharing my screen.
No, I didn't know that I said I wanted to share anything.
Okay. Well, then we're moving on.
I'm good. I think you're covering it, but thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Division 2 is Mrs. AR. Mrs. AR, did you want to say anything? Is she on?
She's here.
Okay.
Where is she? Marianne.
I saw her come in.
I know.
Hiding. Right, I'll circle back around and are there?
Oh, I'm on. Can you hear me? Yep. I had to figure out how to unmute. Hi. I'm excited to be the voice of Division 2. As you can only see my voice now because I'm the family Uber driver right now. I apologize. But I'm excited to see everybody, and I know that we have some wonderful parent coaches that without you we couldn't do this. So I want to tell you that we appreciate you and we thank you. And to all the parents that are dedicated to bringing their kids in the Math Pentathlon program, as teachers, we appreciate you for your time and dedication, and we look forward to a great season. Go Math Pentathlon.
Woohoo! Thank you, Mrs. AR.
Welcome.
For Division 3, we've got Miss Pargoff. Miss Pargoff, did you want to say anything?
How am I supposed to top that? That was wonderful. No, thank you guys for coming on and learning a little bit more tonight. I will just say, as a teacher, all of the skills that Lucy has been talking about throughout the night are evident in the classroom. We really see those problem-solving skills come to life, whether it's during class discussions or while they're playing their own games. And honestly, if your kiddos like the Bridges games we play in class, these are a million times better. So it's a lot of fun.
Thank you. That was wonderful. And then for Division 4, we've got Miss Welton. I'm not sure if she's on tonight. Did you see her come on, Renee?
No, she didn't come on yet.
Yeah, she's really busy. Yeah. When you move into middle school, it's a lot more paperwork. Well, not that I know, but she teaches like 104 different kids. So anyway, sorry. Moving on. Then we have student assistant coaches. Last year, we were able to have some wonderful assistant coaches who have agreed to come back this year. A couple of them are on tonight. We've got Landon, Lean, and Sydney. And we are currently recruiting from the National Honor Society students at our high school. Also, if you have any parents out there, if you have any students that need volunteer hours and are interested in math and would like to help assistant coach, please give us their information, and we will train them and teach them how to coach. Moving on. Okay, again, if you're interested. Yes.
I just want to say one thing about those high school volunteers. They did amazing last year. So thank you, Sydney and Landon and Lean, wherever you are. And they loved it so much, they're coming back to join us. So, I mean, that says a little bit about our program as well. So thank you guys.
Not only that, they actually stuck through the entire season. Because when we first introduced it to them, we told them that they did not, if they just needed to do their 10 hours, they could stop at their 10 hours. But they continued on. They stayed with the kiddos the entire season. And I so very proud to call them assistant coaches. That they were amazing. So yes, if you're interested, please write down your email, your child's name, and their grade in the chat. Section 4, win. So here's the nitty gritty. And here's the silly, silly joke. How do you keep your room how do you keep warm in a cold room? You go to the corner because it's always 90 degrees. Ha ha ha. This is important as winter comes up in Michigan, right? Okay, so as Miss Andrea said at the beginning, we will be using a hybrid of virtual and in-person practices. What we found last year was there were a number of skills that the kids learned that they did not learn by strictly doing in-person practices, as well as other things. Anyways, this is how it will go this year. You'll have one Zoom followed by 2 in-person practices. So 1 week will be Zoom, the next week will be in person, the next week will be in person. Then it'll be Zoom, in person, in person. The first practice, however, will be in person. So very first practice in person, then we'll go Zoom, in person, Zoom, in person. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Coach Renee she's our email guru, and she keeps everybody on task and informed. So she will get you the information and keep you updated. And yes, and we also have a Canvas page, which will have the Zoom link. There's also all sorts of different information on there. We have some videos that we put together on how to play games last year. Yeah, and that's all going to be available to you guys again this year. So why are the hybrid practices? The advantages of Zoom meetings are, number one, it's easier to teach. I don't know if you can imagine, but if we are trying to teach the game and there's 30 kids and they're all trying to bend over you to see the game board, not everybody gets it. However, if we teach on Zoom, the kids all can see the board right in front of them. So teaching is much easier. Another thing that we found last year was communication skills. And like I said at the beginning of the presentation, communication skills are lacking in our society. And we found that kindergarten and first graders were able to give directions better than some of our 6th and 7th graders because they learned to do it from the beginning. As opposed to our 6th and 7th graders who have never been asked to verbally give instructions online. So that covers the clear and concise directions. In-person advantages, obviously, playing is easier. The tactile learning, being able to touch and move the pieces. Now, the kids did get to do that last year because we asked every family to purchase a set of game boards. So they were able to tactily touch the pieces, but they weren't necessarily able to play in person with a peer. So being able to play in person with a peer is another advantage. And obviously faster gameplay. It's far faster to just move a piece than verbally tell a host how to move a piece over the internet. Okay, so here are your practice start times and dates. Division 1, this is kindergarten through first grade, will start on Tuesday, November 9th. The practices will be held in Gretschko, in person. The approximate start time will be 4:10 and will go 1 hour to 5:10. And Zoom meetings will start at 5 and end at 6. Division 2 will start on Thursday, November 4th. Practices will be at Scotch, and Division 2 does consist of 2nd and 3rd grade. In-person practices will be approximately starting at 4:20 to 5:20, and the Zoom practices will start at 5 and go to 6. Division 3, we will start on Monday, November 8th. Those practices will be held at Scotch. In-person will start approximately at 4:10 and go to 5:10, and then the Zoom will start at 5 p.m. and go to 6. Division 4, we will start on Thursday, November 4th. We will meet at West Bloomfield Middle School in person. We'll start approximately at 2:55 and end at 3:55, and Zoom will start at 3:30 and end at 4:30. Okay, moving on. Because Division 2 is split in 2 different buildings, we are working on getting a shuttle bus from Gretschko to shuttle all those 2nd graders over to Scotch for practice. So at the end of practice, you will be picking up your child at Scotch. Unfortunately, even though we've opened this up for the entire school district, oops, let me go back. Even though we've opened this up to the entire school district, we're not going to be able to bus everybody from all the different schools. So those from Chico and Doherty and Roosevelt, you will have to arrange to bring your children to practice if you choose to sign up. Lakers Online, if you want to participate in online classes, or if you want to participate in person, you will need to bring your kids to practice and take them home at the end. Yeah, I know that's hard, but I mean, ideally, if you are a parent that from one of those schools that would like to coach there and start your own math pentathlon, Renee, Michelle, and I would be happy to help you. We love this program so much. We want everybody to be able to participate. And so fortunately, we're able to open it up to everybody. Also, we will have virtual practices every now and again on Saturdays. We haven't discussed the exact dates. So if
we also have Saturday in-person practices already scheduled. So we are going to have some in-person Saturdays for extra.
So basically the in-person practices are going to be practices. We're not going to do a ton of teaching. We will do some correcting, but the teaching will happen over Zoom. So all the in-person things, including the Saturday practices, will be playing. And you have the advantages of having the coaches there to help if there are any questions. Now on to fees. And we will get you the information for the Saturday practices, and those are optional, but I highly recommend them. And we will make virtual available to those who are in Laker Online and still not comfortable to come in person. Here are the fees. So our math club is this small first thing. Our fee for this year, for this season, and that goes the entire season from when we start in November all the way until we end, till the national tournament, which will either be March, April, or May. That cost us $35. That includes coaching and instruction on all the games. You have access to all of the videos we've made on Canvas. It also includes a t-shirt with the name on back, which is awesome. And we usually do some sort of end of the season celebration. So that's all included in that $35. We do require that you sign your child up for the national tournament because this club is to prepare the students to compete in the national tournament. The national tournament, there is an in-person, all of these listed right here, the prices are in-person. We understand that they will offer a virtual option. Last year they did have a virtual national tournament, which was cool because the students from Michigan got to play kids from Texas, and they made fast friends. It was really awesome. It was so cool to watch this virtual. Anyways, they will offer a virtual tournament. We just don't know when the date is yet. So that is a $42 fee. You pay that directly to mathpentath.org. The sign up, oh, I didn't put the link for the sign up to the tournament. Sorry, guys. Anyways, we'll make sure you get that. Right here, you have to sign up at the latest by February 19th for the tournament. However, to be a participant in our club, we require that you sign up immediately for the national tournament. That registration is non-refundable and you cannot substitute. So if something comes up, you can't say, oh, well, here, Billy wants to go instead. They won't substitute it. So here are the dates. Division 1 is May 7th at Walled Lake. Division 2 is April 9th in Bloomfield Hills. Division 3 and 4, they're at the same time in the same building, May 14th in Rochester. We suggest that as a family, you purchase the games for your division. So in a box for your division, you get 5 games and the instructional booklet. The rules booklet, I should say, not instructions. Those boxes are $85. However, right now they're a discounted price. They usually run a special at the beginning of the school year, so they're discounted right now. Also, later on, I'll talk about opportunities to get training from the national, the people that developed the games. They will be coming up here. Actually this week. I know that's really short notice, but they'll be coming up here this week. And if you purchase the games there, you get the discounted price and you don't have to pay shipping. So, and the web page for purchasing the games I did put on there. All right, moving on. All fees. That is the math club fee and the national tournament fee, signing up for that, needs to be paid before the first practice of the year. Who can sign up? All West Bloomfield students, kindergarten through 7th grade, and that includes Laker Online students. This is the link to sign up for our math club. I know they're going to put that in the chat somewhere. All right, and again, to reiterate, in order to participate in the math club, your child must first be signed up for the national tournament. Also, more information about the tournament. It's really cool. The in-person tournament is just cool. The tournaments they're on Saturdays. They're early mornings, so they open registration at 7:45. I always suggest you get there earlier. And then I really suggest that you plan on being there all day long. Depending on the division and how quickly things go, you might get out of there before 2 p.m. However, plan on being there until 4 or 5. It's a long day, but it's well worth it. And these kids do amazing. Here is the link to the national tournament sign-up page. Again, that $42 is paid directly to the National Math Pentathlon Institute. They're actually located in Indianapolis, if you wanted to know. And again, if you're interested, write your email, your child's name, and grade in the chat. Okay, how? So, in this section, I'm going to talk about the expectations we have for the students and the parents. Yes, parents, we expect things of you. Information for volunteers and further training opportunities. And here's my joke, or a meme. Are you sure I make a difference? I'm positive. I don't know if you saw my cheesy face, but I made a cheesy face. Okay. Student expectations. Number 1, we expect each child to learn the 5 games in their divisions by practicing math concepts, learning the strategies, and sharpening skills. We expect them to respect the coaches, the parent volunteers, and their fellow students by working as a team and exhibiting good behavior. And thirdly, attend the National Math Pentathlon Tournament as a pentathlete. Just to go back to the respect the coaches, the parents, and the fellow students. Parents, I'm going to talk to you frankly. This is a team, and we're preparing your students to go to tournament. If your child is not ready to participate in a team, we will take them to Kids Club, or we will contact you and have you come pick them up. We are not babysitting your children after school. This is an interactive club, and we do expect them to come ready to learn and ready to play games, math pentathlon games. Okay, parent expectations and volunteering. Parents, we expect you to attend practices, either in person or Zoom, learn each of the 5 games in your child's division, assist in the growth of the team by helping the coaches during practice and your child at home. We want you to play with your kids at home. Get the games out, practice with them. The kids that play at home are far more successful at the tournament than those that don't. Attend the National Math Pentathlon Tournament as a game monitor. One of the things that I love about Math Pentathlon is that at the tournament, the kids play one-on-one with another child, and they're monitored by an adult. And what I mean by a game monitor is you will volunteer to be an adult to watch over the gameplay during the tournament. You are not allowed to monitor your own child. And don't worry, if you have questions, if you don't know the games that well, there are game leaders and other people that will be there to help you. But we do expect you to go as a monitor. So that means you're going to be there, you're going to be participating. And if monitoring isn't a possibility, talk to us coaches and we'll see what we can work out for you, okay? Now, to volunteers, parents in the school, they are really strict this year. Actually, I think they've been strict for a while. They're just really buckling down this year. So there are required documents to volunteer in the schools. Every time you go into the school, you're required to fill out the screening checklist, which is basically a checklist you have to fill out like anywhere. Same thing. Also, there is a background check that needs to be performed. So this is, again, if you volunteer in person, you have to fill these out before you come in. You can't just come in and fill it out and expect to be able to volunteer. And then here's some specific information. I do not want to answer questions about why this is. If you have questions, I don't want to throw Andrea Frank under the bus, but she's the one you need to direct those questions to. So here's an email about visitors and volunteers. This is the part we're going to look at, and here it is. The school district has said that all volunteers must provide proof of vaccine before being allowed to volunteer. They must follow.
Lucy, real quick, they did change this where you can provide a negative COVID test within the past, I think 48 hours.
Oh, okay. So if you don't mind taking a COVID test every single time. I mean, if you have a large nose and you can't feel the stick going all the way to your brain, why not? Okay, anyways, next one. They must follow the district masking requirements, including wearing a mask appropriately at all times indoors. They must have approval from the principal before volunteering. The principal is responsible for verifying that all vaccination information has been submitted. They must complete the health screener, which is that first paper. A list of volunteers and their contact information must be maintained by the school in the event of need for contact tracing. And then the background checks are still required for all student volunteers. Now again, this is for all in-person volunteers. And I really hope that you parents go through these hoops to be in practice with your children. It's just wonderful to be there with your kids. If this isn't doable, then we would require that you come to the Zoom practices. You don't have to have all of this to be a Zoom volunteer because you're not in contact with any of the students other than virtually. Again, I'm not answering questions about this. Don't ask me why. If you have questions, please contact Andrea Frank.
But I do want to reiterate that, because I did see a question in the chat, that these practices, when we start doing in-person and doing in-person tournaments, these practices are just as much for the parent as it is for the child. So the more the parent knows, because we do have to have a parent monitor at the tournament per 2 kids. So if we have 20 kids on one team, we need 10 parents to be at the tournament, and they have to monitor a game. And if you don't know anything about the game, it's going to be a tough morning and afternoon for you. And so we, like West Bloomfield and us 3 coaches, we really pride ourselves on having really good parent monitors. And so we are going to try and get you guys to the practices. We will do a Zoom training with you guys. We'll do everything we can to accommodate, but just so you guys know, this is as much for the parents, like Lucy's saying, this is as much for the parents as it is for the child. So just keep that in mind when registering for our club.
And to add on to what Coach Renee was saying, if they don't have enough volunteers at the tournament, they pull people from the stands, and usually they know absolutely nothing about the games. So don't be afraid, even if you've only played one time, even if you've just seen it, don't be afraid to volunteer to be a monitor. Your kids love it when you come to stuff, and they love that you're there and they know exactly where you're at because you're sitting in the same seat the entire day, so they can come find you. Okay, so other training opportunities. This is again this week, and I know this is really short notice, but these trainings are teaching you how to play all 5 games for your child's division, and you're being taught by the creators of the games. So Dr. Mary and is it Dr. LeBlanc, Dr. Renee? Is it just Mr. Renee? Anyways, I don't know. Anyways, Coach Renee, not this Renee, but Renee LeBlanc from Texas, who is part of the National Math Pentathlon Institute. They fly up here and they teach the parents that sign up. So registration is required. It does cost $20, and there is the link to sign up. Each one of these starts at 6:30, goes to 9:30. Coach Renee and I will both be at a couple of these. I'm not sure which ones yet because the registration and who they need hasn't been finalized yet, but Coach Renee and I will be there to help teach things as well. Okay, monitor training opportunities. And like Coach Renee said, we do pride ourselves on having very prepared and very knowledgeable parent monitors at the tournaments. We will provide monitor training ourselves in our school district. However, monitor training is also provided by the National Math Pentathlon Institute for free. Those dates are not yet posted because they will be posted in February. Well, the trainings will be in February, so we'll be reminding you as they come up. Coach Renee will send out an email, put in an announcement in the Canvas page so that you can sign up for those free trainings, and they are virtual, but you're being taught by the creators of the Math Pentathlon tournaments. Okay, again, if you're interested, please write your email, your child's name and grade, and post it in the chat. And another meme. I want to see how things add up in the world. I want to encourage equality. I just want to make a difference. Feel good. Okay, now we're going to open it up to questions. And thank you all for being here. I know there were a couple of hands up and I just barreled right on through. I wasn't ignoring you. I just wanted to get through the presentation. So feel free to unmute, or you can type your question in the chat and we will read it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
There were a couple questions about the Zoom, the hybrid model, and we only meet once a week. We just alternate Zoom and in person. So our plan is to do one Zoom where we teach the game and then 2 in-persons afterwards. So hopefully that clears some of those questions up. I did see somebody that said that they can only do the online and the Saturday practices. That is totally fine. So that's why we're hoping that having this hybrid, we can get more kids involved. There was one other question.
We do have some questions about the start time.
Oh yeah.
So if we have enough kids from Roosevelt join, then it might be something we can push back 5-10 minutes to give them more time to get there. But we have to see who registers.
Part of the reason why I put the approximate time on there is because it is the first few practices. We're just trying to see from those who signed up who can make it there and what time they'll make it there at. Once after a couple of times, we'll be able to solidify that time a little bit better for you, and we will let you know when pickup time is after that, because we do want to give them an hour. We don't want to gyp them on time with us because we're so
I will say in the past at Greshko and Scotch, we didn't really start till 4:30. I mean, they didn't get started until 4:20 or 4:30 because we also are waiting for parents to come help. So if we don't have the parent volunteers to help, practices will be very tough for just us to watch the kids. So so yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the.
And I have a Roosevelt kid too, so I get it. We used to be able to bus them over, but this year with COVID, they're not busing them.
There's a question about younger siblings. If there's younger siblings there, they have to be watched by their parent, unfortunately, because we cannot watch younger siblings. And if they do get involved in the practice and like are distracting, then we might have to say no. But we do have a lot of siblings that sit to the side and do, watch their iPads and, that kind of
we've had in my experience, the kids, the families that bring siblings, the siblings have always been very well behaved. So I've never had a problem with siblings. I don't know about you guys.
I've had some.
Okay.
So it all depends. It all depends on the age of the sibling. So
Gotcha. And I might have to tag, my 4-year-old might have to tag along with me too every now and again. So, and he's a distraction, let me tell you. Not only because he's super cute, but he's just very talkative. Okay. Will the online training be live with the in-person students, or is it separate? What do you mean by online training? Are you wanting to know about the coaches training or like the Zoom practices?
The Pentathlon training is in person.
He said the Zoom practices.
Okay.
So the Zoom practices will be live. So we'll have a Zoom just like this where the kids log on. We've got our setup still, hopefully, from last year. Hopefully we didn't take them all down. We're, as coaches and also the volunteers, parent volunteers, we need you to set up the games so that we can practice what we've taught with the kids. And we will teach you how to do that. We're very practiced now at teaching the parents how to get the things set up so that we can be successful. I hope that answered your question. It will be live. You will get a link to this. Anyways, there's a message. Coach Renee put down her email address. Just email her if you need to. If you weren't able to get your information in here. Also, anybody who registered through Andrea Frank will get a link to this. It's being recorded. You'll get a link to this whole presentation. You can watch it again. Laugh at my funny memes that I put on there because I love finding funny memes. Now, I don't want you guys to be afraid either of not signing your child up because you're worried that they're not going to be able to make it to practice. We would love to have them in every single practice, but if you're just a family that's not able to make that work, purchase the games, play them with your child at home, contact the coaches, and be on the online if you can, and come to the Saturday practices, and you should be good. As long as you're playing your games at home with your kids, that is the best practice that you can get. And seriously, we get screenshots of where people have come to a stalemate on their games, and they're like, hey, Coach Renee, hey, Coach Michelle, hey, Coach Lucy, I don't know what to do. And then we will contact you back and let you know what to do. And if we don't know what to do, we contact Dr. Mary.
That is the advantage to coming to the Zooms, at least when we teach the game, is you know when your kid is totally lying to you about the rules.
Because they will. They will absolutely not know how to play the game when you ask them to teach you.
And all three of us coaches, all three of us coaches are willing to Zoom with you anytime you have a question or want to see something on the game. So we offered it last year. We didn't get a whole lot of takers because I don't know. I guess we were good at the practices. But if at any of the practices you want extra help, I mean, we're always available.
All right. I do see a thing that says on here the Math Pentathlon registration isn't open yet. Well, it should be open soon if it's not open yet.
Andrea Frank question. I could click onto it. I could click onto it, so I don't know.
I think they're talking about the national tournament.
Oh.
I thought it was because the dates are on there. Too. Registration should be open for the national tournament.
If it's not open, it will be open soon.
Ollie, you had your hand up.
Hi, coaches. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Renee.
Hello.
How are you? Oh, Salim's, that means that. For this week practices, I mean, I know this few days are open for this week, I guess. Coming up, do we have to show up to these? I mean, where those coaches are flying?
Oh, you mean the national, the trainings this week?
Yes.
The parent trainings? Those are completely optional.
Okay.
They're very informative, and it's really nice to learn from the actual creators of the games. And we just tell you about them because they're so nice, but they are optional. You do not have to attend those.
Register through the National Pentathlon site.
Well, we highly recommend it.
It's very nice.
We only learned 2 games last year, so there's 5. So.
And Salim will be going into a set of 5 new games. So
that's another reason to go.
Year doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah.
But there will be Zoom practices throughout the year. Zoom training throughout the year. This just happens to be the Michigan in-person training that they like to do once a year. But because of how great Zoom was last year, they will have more Zoom trainings for the games. So
on Zoom, it's okay then, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to be, what do I have to register if I want to go to those practices?
Yeah. I put the link in a couple times in the chat.
And they're all going to be the same. So you just need to go to one if you are doing one.
Yeah, I'll choose the best day for me. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We need time. To buy those games, don't we need time to get them? I mean, we'll go to this practice, but then we still need time to. So every Saturday is Zoom meeting? I mean, Zoom practices, or when?
I apologize. I did not put that in the slideshow. We currently only have 2 Saturdays scheduled. One will be in November, one will be in December. So it's not an every Saturday thing. Keep your eyes open for the Zoom practices we might offer on Saturdays. I mean, Coach Renee, Coach Michelle, and I, we are very busy parents of many children with many activities. So we try to give you as much time as we can, but we can't dedicate every single Saturday. I apologize.
Fine with me too. I'm busy too.
It's usually once a month, maybe twice a month as we get closer to the tournament.
And the practices in school are the same way?
So those are once a week.
Those are once a week. Well, so basically it's once a week, but it will be Zoom practice 1 week. Then the next 2 weeks will be in person, and then the Zoom practice, and then 2 in person. So it's once a week, but alternating.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I know that seems really confusing. Hopefully this works. I mean, if it is a huge, huge problem, We might just change it to all in person. But right now I'm thinking this is going to be the best solution for everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, Ollie. Any other questions? We kept it to a little over an hour. All right, feel free to shoot Coach Renee over any emails, any questions that you might have. My email and Coach Michelle's emails we put in the chat. There is a way to copy the chat. I don't know how to do it, but if you're Zoom savvy, you can do it. Feel free to shoot any of us a question if you'd like. We're happy to answer any questions you might have. We love Math Pentathlon. We're kind of passionate and crazy about it all at the same time. So again, yeah, thank you. And I look forward to working with you and your kids this year.
Yes, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, coaches.
Glad to be in person again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What shall we do? Asked Polly the parrot. We will have to pull out the tooth, said Harriet. But who?
There's some names from the past coming back. That's awesome.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Hi. You are the meme queen. I was trying not to get a car accident as I was looking at your memes.
There's far less this year than last year.
Oh my God, they were so